Okay, hi. Hi.
Hi.
It is Metaphiles. It is the podcast that talks to you. I am Zach.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
I'm Jay.
That's great.
Hi.
And we're going to be talking right to you all episode long. Not to each other. We don't do that anymore. We talk to you only. Isn't that right, Jay?
You're talking to me right now.
Okay, we talk to each other again. It's episode 104. And what does that mean? 10 plus 4? No. It means 104.
That's true.
Of course. And in podcasting terms, as we know, 52 weeks equals 1 year.
On the podcasting calendar, it sure does, yes.
That's right, and we follow the podcasting calendar.
Yeah.
My calendar is 5 blank days. So it's blank day, podcast day, blank day, blank day, blank day, blank day, podcast comes out day, week 2, etc.
Merry Christmas, too.
It does,
Podcast
of course.
Christmas,
Yeah.
Podsmas.
And it specifically says Christmas, not Xmas.
Yeah.
On my calendar.
Yeah. Christmas.
Yeah. And also it says Christ Podcast Day.
That's a good idea.
Oh, should we ever do one about Christ?
I think so.
Okay. You'd
have
to do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Just like on Calvary.
Just like and just like Galilee.
That's right.
That's one. Anyway, this is week 104, making it our 2-year podcast anniversary. Regardless of when the first episode premiered or how many times we have missed a week.
Regardless of that.
Matter.
Podcast calendar.
Podcast calendar. And we won't say what day this was recorded because for some reason in podcasting that's considered gauche. Which is why we don't...
it is?
Which is why we don't do our podcasts where we just say what date it is anymore and haven't for many years.
You know, I learned of the term gauche on this very podcast.
And you know what? Here's something crazy. That was almost 2 years ago that you learned it.
Wow.
On our episode about shoes, I believe, which I think was one of our early ones, but now I'm thinking maybe it wasn't.
It was entitled Get Gauche.
Get gauche or go home.
That's right.
Yeah.
What does gauche mean?
Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like unseemly.
Let's put it
unseemly.
On
like, not appropriate to the occasion. And also, like, a bit much.
Word.
For you to ask your friend to define a word it would be an example. When Jay, using it in a sentence. When Jay asked Zach to define the word gauche, knowing that it was going to be a little bit hard for him.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know. You had no way of knowing. I'm being gauche right now.
Who's gauche now?
Anniversary, for God's sake. This is supposed to be a joyous occasion.
Can we have a nice episode for once?
I would like that very much, and I'm willing to start now.
First you say you're not even talking to me. And then this gauche business?
Let's start over.
Metaphiles.
Every time I try to sing that song a cappella.
Put that right there. The Mario song?
Well, it was supposed to be the Metaphiles theme, but it does always start to turn into the Mario theme song. Even though the Metaphiles theme song, I literally hear at least twice a week without fail. It's probably the song I've heard the most in my life at this point. I still, for some reason, when I go to acapella, it
Well, let me give it a whirl.
starts going a little bit. Let
me try it.
Proceed.
Pretty close, right?
That
Definitely
was-
didn't Mario it.
You didn't Mario it. Yours was like a sexy salsa version. If you were using a Casio keyboard.
sexy
I'm
salsa
podcasting
version.
From the audience's point of view for a second. Just to say that it was, if you put the Casio keyboard and set the setting to sexy. Anyway, it's the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, it is.
We've been hearing that song for 2 years. We've been doing all kinds of things for 2 years.
Yeah, we have.
This is the second anniversary. It's kind of the sequel to the first anniversary.
That's a good point.
And for the first anniversary, we redid our first ever topic. And for this one, we're redoing our second ever topic, which is sequels.
Sequels 2, Part 2.
This is that. And
The sequeling. Sequels 2, Part 2, the sequeling.
sequels part, what is it? Sequels to part 2?
Yeah,
Sequels to part 2, the sequeling.
a sequel.
A sequel, an affair to sequelize.
That's right. And people are probably thinking, like, I'd pay $30 a month to watch the same episode again? No.
No, this is all new content.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that when we did sequels just under 2 years ago, we did not say sequel to part 2, a sequel, the sequeling, an
We
affair
didn't.
to sequelize.
We didn't.
You go back and watch.
You can go back and watch. You two would take it, would, you know, fucking. So wait, I'm confused.
They'd take us down for lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so this is our second year doing this shit,
Uh-huh.
but it's our first anniversary
What?
just because of episodes. But it's wait, it's because we're on the podcast calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot about that part.
It's the second anniversary.
I just want to reiterate that because people might be a little bit confused. Because an anniversary is like annual; it's like a year, but it's the podcast calendar, so it's annual in that context.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
You know that anniversaries happen more than one time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying if it was a traditional anniversary, we would have been on our second one
We are.
this far. But we didn't do an anniversary.
Yes, we did. We did names again
We did?
for episode 52.
But we didn't really call it an anniversary, did we?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
So
don't
it's
remember word for word, but we definitely made a thing of it and said, and because of that, we're doing names again.
Wow.
Go back and watch.
You know, I'm being very considerate by not just slapping all that on the fact tube every time you say go back and see this. Because I could be like, hey, well, you can just show it here on the fact tube.
You really are being kind.
Yes, you should be nice to me.
I know I've been really rough on you this episode so
That's
far.
right.
I'm going to try to turn it around. I'm going to take a long time to sit back and listen. Jay, talk about sequels, please. But try not to say anything that we said a year ago.
Sequels are something you do when you run out of ideas. You could make a totally new idea, but you think about an idea that was already good and you just decide to try to do that again. At worst, at best, it's just completely derivative and predictable and milquetoast, and your podcast host is mean to you, and you get confused about calendars. And
I'm going to jump in here.
Yeah, what's up?
Sometimes you do a sequel because you have a great idea for something that's really fun, and everybody's going to enjoy it a lot, and they liked it so much the first time. Why not have them like it all over again, even more for the second time?
Oh. Okay, I guess I was being a little bit negative.
Yeah. It's you who has been wrong.
Mean? Being mean to me.
No, I'm teaching you. Okay, I don't want to be that guy anymore. So.
Well, be somebody quick.
Yeah. Hey, baby.
I like this podcast.
Yeah. I'm shaking my hips.
Wow.
What's a sequel? What's the sequel to me?
I'll tell you what it is. It's Sam Cowboy Man.
Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott starring as Elvis in the new Elvis biopic directed by Denis Villeneuve.
Can it be old
starring
Elvis?
Sam Elliott?
It's like what would have happened?
What would have happened if he didn't die in the toilet? It just starts with him walking out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Flushing sound. Elvis walks out of the bathroom. That's the opening scene.
Yeah. And he says,
That was a rough one, but I'm okay now.
You don't want to go in there. But then the person does go in there.
That one just about killed me, I'll tell you.
But then the person does go in there. Intense music is playing.
Mm-hmm.
And we see that young old Elvis shot the toilet for what it tried to do to him.
Yeah.
And then old Elvis travels the country singing songs, don't worry.
Yeah.
But also shooting toilets. Shooting every toilet that he can.
So he doesn't shit?
Not in a toilet.
Okay. Man, them things almost killed me one time.
Never again.
Never again, mama. So Elvis shooting toilets.
Uh-huh.
Does he lose weight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to put Sam Elliott in a fat suit for part of it. But
Sam Elliott in a fat suit playing Elvis, directed by Denis Villeneuve.
yeah. Shooting toilets, taking names.
Yeah.
Singing songs, taking care of business in a flash.
That's right. How would
A flush.
In a flush!
TCB in a flush. That's the tagline for old Elvis.
Flush what you thought you knew about Elvis down the toilet.
Absolutely do that.
How does he die? He just never dies. That's the end of the movie is just him like, I'm 102 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the last line of the movie.
Yeah, the credits.
I'm 102 years old.
Oscars. Oscar time.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar season.
Uh-huh.
I would watch that.
Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, hell yeah. Well, so that's great. We are talking about sequels.
Well, it's like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's kind of the same vibe, right? Where it's like, what if the Manson murders failed
Spoiler.
and didn't happen? If you listen, I'm talking directly to the viewer right now. If you're watching a episode of a podcast about sequels, be ready for spoilers. Don't get pissed off if there's fucking spoilers.
I was just thinking of a car I had seen earlier, and I was thinking of all the different parts that were on it.
So you did that joke in the first one.
Did I?
Mm-hmm. Probably since then too.
My Fast and the Furious joke I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I have a joke. I thought of. and I gotta tell it to you,
Cool.
but I'm actually not going to do it on the show. I'm very sorry, everyone. This is
I'm the
just
Patreon.
purely for me to remember.
Great podcast.
It's a
We have
joke.
a lot of funny shit.
This
We'll
one's-
say some of it on the
This
podcast.
one's not for y'all. I'm sorry. It requires some context.
Is it racist?
No. It's the follow-up to a joke that I don't want to tell on here because it's just a little sad. The
Okay.
joke might make people sad, or maybe I'll.
We don't traffic in
should I-
sorrow.
Should I do it? Because it's kind of perfect because it is the sequel to a joke. Everybody's going nuts at home right now.
They're all holding on to their computer monitors with their arthritic, smelly, dirty, grubby hands and their shabby
hands are
apartment
so
with water
smelly.
dripping from the ceiling, and their internet connection that they've stolen on Wi-Fi from their neighbor. And they're saying, please.
Their neighbor, who is
We don't
such
have
a
anything
nice
else.
person, their neighbor
Yeah.
is so nice and like donates food to places and has great smelling hands. I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna tell both jokes.
He's going to tell it. Calm down.
Congratulations, everyone. If I hadn't realized that it was a sequel to a joke, I would have not. But I'm gonna do it. So the first joke, and I'm sorry, but the first joke is: has anybody recently ever been in a helicopter that's crashing and gone, Kobe? Okay, that's the original joke. That's The Godfather. Now, The Godfather Part 2, I thought of in a dream.
Okay.
Dream I had the night before last. Today is
Dreamcast.
the sequel to the day that I had woke up with the joke.
Uh-huh.
So this is the sequel to that joke. It's, has anybody ever been a writer, comedy writer for a late night talk show, and they go to start writing some jokes for the late night talk show, and they say, Colbert?
Yeah.
Sequel's not as good, huh?
Stretch.
That's what I like about it.
It's really a stretch.
That's what I like about it. I like that it's super clunky.
Maybe I'll be watching this back and I'll be like, oh,
Colbert?
that actually is funny. Colbert.
Colbert?
Maybe it is.
Write a bit. Colbert. Top 10. Look,
Maybe it's funny. Maybe.
maybe. That's what I love to trade in here is maybe.
That's why I love about podcasting. You never know if it's going to be funny at all.
Yeah.
Welcome to Leia Plays.
Okay.
This is part of the podcast where I come up with a podcast idea might be better than this podcast potentially. And potentially could be funny as well on top of it.
We deal in maybes.
It's a murky. Anyways, this one, it's a Veracipod,
Ah.
portmanteau of veracity and podcast.
Okay. Now, Jay,
What's up, Zach?
before we hear some of the show, could I get a Dick Def on veracity?
What's a synonym?
I know it, but I don't. I want to be really, really.
Veracity means that something you say is validated by real information, is confirmed to be factual.
Okay.
That's what
yes,
veracity
the veracity
means.
of the claim.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Isn't it so? Why is it so scary to define words that we know? I say gauche all the time, and I always know exactly what I mean when I say it. You know what veracity means, but then when you have to be Webster,
Yeah.
it's scary.
Well, because you have to relate it to another person who doesn't know what you're talking about. I mean, you know, at worst, they just really don't even know what it means at all. So
Yeah.
you don't want to steer them wrong.
Right.
You want to convey it clearly.
Yeah.
Even
And
if you
they're-
do know it, it's that you have to choose the right words. It's like doing a key change in music. There's notes in between that bring you to the other key to make it not sound terrible when you get to that key change. You know?
Yeah. And the person you're explaining it to is probably dumb, or they would know already. So you have to be like, how would I explain this to a dumb person?
Yeah. the viewers on YouTube.com. Yeah. Welcome to Veracipod. This is the Veracipod. Please follow the link below this video window, which is the account on YouTube. It will show you that it's registered under the email veracipod@gmail.com. I'm Jason.
Zachary.
Ford. Yep. Your host, date of birth, May 8th, 1987. State of Tennessee ID number 138037482.
And I'm your co-host, Zachary.
Yeah?
Certainly.
Okay.
I would have no reason to falsify that.
Uh-huh. You're welcome to this podcast. We're very welcoming people. Feel free to check our social medias. You'll see many posts. They're quite sociable. Zach has agreed to be my co-host for this podcast. The SMS text transcriptions are linked in the description for the date and the Uber rides as well, verifying that on this evening, September 26th of 2024, we agreed to record this episode. We're glad you're here. You're just going to have to take my word for that one.
Jay.
What's up?
I have to issue a correction.
We welcome that. What correction would you like to submit?
Today's date is September 26th.
Yeah, I said 26th.
I'm afraid not. Oh, no, I apologize. It's the 25th, and you did say the 26th. And when you said that, you were incorrect. And then I became incorrect inadvertently as well.
Wow. Okay, well, let's just keep recording. I think, okay, so it's a correction. That's okay. It's okay. We have a correction. Let's, I'm just going to go ahead and show my phone screen with the date. It's up at the top right. You can probably see the date right there. Verifying. Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is a terrible start. It's really small, but it's at the top there, and you can probably see it. Anyways, this is our podcast again. You've seen the account, you've seen the text messages. Yes. True. All right, so let's continue on with the episode. Zach.
Yes.
Who? Zachary. Yes. Who did 9/11?
Oh boy. I was hoping this would not come up.
Well, if we're gonna confirm everything we say fastidiously on this podcast, which is the entire point, then we should probably not shy away from shining a veracity flashlight out into the world.
Well,
I don't know, so what do you got?
As most people know,
Hold on. Most people know. That's an asterisk right there. Depending on what you're going to say next.
Information that is known to some and unknown to others, and and with changes to that being considered. Some people know that I was one of the producers of the documentary film Loose Change.
Is there any way you could prove that at all?
Go and watch the film and look for the name Zachary in the end credits. You will find it. You will find it. Now,
let's go ahead and put that on the Veracitube.
The Veracitube.
There we go.
Yep, that's
there it is.
All right, my name. My name appeared on the Veracitube. At the end credits, of course, over black screen, white text on black screen. You clearly saw the name Zachary, white text on black screen right there on the fact tube. We all saw it. What people may not know is we didn't really have an idea for the documentary. And I said, what if we debunked a terrible tragedy?
Do you have transcripts of this conversation happening? Maybe a recording?
I wrote it all down on a cocktail napkin.
Do you think you could produce that napkin next episode, next week?
As long as I don't need to blow my nose between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Or drink any especially wet cocktails that where the outside of the glass will become wet.
Okay. Pretty tedious. Pretty tenuous, rather.
It is. So basically, we were like, we need to make a documentary that debunks a tragedy, but then the other guy was like, well, what tragedy should it be? And I was like, I don't know. None of them are really...
The other guy?
The other guy said, and so I was like, I guess we could just do one, like make one and then debunk it. So the answer to your question, who did it? I did that. I did do that. I did 9/11.
Well, there you have it. There's the answer. Next week, we'll be looking into the Lusitania disaster, which hurled America into the First World War. A lot of veracitude to review on that occasion.
I'm sorry, by the way.
Or can you have a receipt of remorse? Frankly,
what if I went like this?
Nope, doesn't work.
Okay. No. I don't have a receipt.
Well, for verification of all these facts, extemporaneous facts that we don't want to overlook, join our
Discord.
No, what's the thing where people pay for it? Patreon
Membership.
No, all wrong. Frankly, this podcast is a little bit exhausting. It's kind of hard to like talk about anything.
Yeah.
And I'll have a full write up on why that is for our Patreon members. So tune in next week for Lusitania disaster.
Sorry, I just want to apologize to you. My veracity was not so good.
Yeah.
I didn't have links or receipts or transcripts or tapes or documents or PDFs or any of it.
We expect all of that for all statements made on the Veracicast, the Veracipod. We got a lot of work to do. This has been episode 1. It's quite frankly been a failure.
I didn't know what the definition of veracity was, and I was embarrassed to Google it.
Well, our fans are thirsty for verifiable information.
Yeah, they're thirsty as fuck.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, let's just try again next week.
Ooh.
Thanks for watching.
Ooh. Wow.
It's just too hard to do that. That's not a good podcast idea. It's just too hard.
It did seem really hard for the main host to be able to like back everything up, and then what the other guy said was fucking wild and really in poor taste.
All I asked was who did 9/11.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of a softball.
Yeah. I can't imagine many people liked hearing what he had to say.
Well, think about it.
Yeah. We will be back, and I feel like we probably maybe said this a year or 2 years ago, but we'll be back with the sequel to segment 1 of the show, which is, of course, segment 2 of the show. And we'll be right back with that. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Hold on. And it's segment 2. Hold on. Sequels in the world.
Hey, hold on. I'm Jay. Okay. What? Okay, never mind.
Okay. Jay, we're going to do the facts. We're going to just do them, okay? Here's a list of several times when a sequel got made and they recast the actors.
Oh.
All right?
They're all shitty, right?
We'll find out.
Hannibal, shit.
That is on the list. We'll go ahead and get that one out of the way. Hannibal was released in 2001, 10 years after Silence of the Lamb. Mm-hmm. Lambs, plural. Jodie Foster versus Julianne Moore.
I hate Julianne Moore.
She is...
I don't like her.
I don't really either. I don't think she's good in Hannibal. Jodie Foster turned the role down because she said she didn't like Clarice's characterization in the Hannibal.
She was going to end up falling in love with Hannibal, but then after she rejected it, they changed the script to fit her preference after she had already passed.
Is that true? They were going to have Clarice and Hannibal fall in love?
Well, I think that's how it happens in the book, I think, which I've never read. But
oh, jeez. I guess that guy who wrote the book, Hannibal, didn't know what the fuck he was doing. That's terrible.
Pretty hacky, pretty
Why
weird.
Why would it be that? That couldn't be more dissimilar.
He kills people. She doesn't like people who kill people.
He kills and eats people. She catches people who kill and eat people to put them in jail, not into her house.
Yeah. Yeah, you can arrest me. We can fall in love. Those are the options, right?
I thought it was just because they wrote Clarice Starling's character to be very boring in the movie Hannibal, but maybe that's just Julianne Moore. I was actually going to try and let her off the hook, but she's just kind of nothing. Clarice, the character of Clarice is kind of nothing in that movie, right? I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, no, she really is. It's just,
Yeah. Also, do you think there is Clarice and Hannibal / fiction out there?
/ fiction? What do you mean?
Oh, / fiction is when people on the internet will write horny tales about their favorite characters having horny times together.
There's first of all, yes.
Yeah.
Second of all, there's a different term for that, isn't there? I mean, it's not fan fiction, it's more than that.
Well, / would be considered like a subgenre of fan fiction. Literotica.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, I will be looking for the Clarice and Hannibal bang.
Yeah.
Just to see if cannibalism comes into it in any way.
Yeah.
Now.
Right.
George
Safe word is check,
2.
please. George of the Jungle 2?
Yeah, that was a great joke, Tim.
Thank you.
George of the Jungle 2, made 6 years after the success of George of the Jungle. They didn't call it George of the Jungle 1. It's just called George of the Jungle. Brendan Fraser was replaced by Christopher Showerman, who, according to Wikipedia, is best known for his role of George in George of the Jungle 2.
Wow.
Yeah. In Mulan 2, released 2004, 6 years after the first Mulan, Eddie Murphy was replaced by Mark Mosley to play the character Mushu, which was a little dragon guy. Mark Mosley, very prolific voice actor, and has gone on to be Mushu in all subsequent animated Mulan things, and also voiced Eddie Murphy's other animated character Donkey in several things.
Interesting.
He's an Eddie Murphy mimic.
Wow.
Amongst other things. Very talented, seemingly very talented guy.
Hey, he doesn't care. He gets the check. He gets paid. The Mulan, moolah. Right.
Yeah.
Took me a minute there. I'm kind of slow these days, but we're still podcasting.
In 2006, 2 years after its predecessor, Return to Halloween Town came out.
There was a Halloween Town?
There,
Really?
I said the same thing. What is Halloween Town? Turns out this was the 4th Halloween Town.
Huh.
They're Disney Channel movies.
Oh.
Disney Channel produced them and all of that.
Huh.
Sentence. So anyway, somebody in that was replaced by somebody else. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, 2008. Did you even know? I didn't know there was a third Mummy. 2008, 7 years after The Mummy 2 came out.
And also dragons in Egypt? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, this one, it co-stars, Fraser was in it.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't even think he was on screen in 2008, but he was, and it was co-stars Jet Li, I'm guessing, as the Dragon Emperor.
Huh.
And I really was so excited that there's another Mummy movie.
Really?
Those first 2 Mummy movies are fun.
But
7 years after they waited too long. That's why I don't know. What, you don't like The Mummy?
It's just dumb.
You're too big to watch Brendan Fraser go on adventures in Egypt and pyramids and fight skeletons.
Yes.
I
would
I'm
watch.
watching Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch. I would watch the original Mummy movie from the 50s or 40s or wherever the fuck.
Yeah, well,
was it a Hammer film?
I'm gonna watch Brendan Fraser fight a skeleton and possibly a dragon.
Fine.
And I'll do it even though Maria Bello replaced Rachel Weisz's character.
Rachel Weisz pretty high.
Well,
I don't know that Bello lady.
I don't know what she was doing in 2008, but evidently the makers of The Mummy wanted Maria Bello to do it instead.
The execs. More Mummy! More Mummy!
So, it's sad when we don't get to see Brendan Fraser in the sequel. It's sad when a guy who sounds like Eddie Murphy, that's probably fine. But sometimes we do get an upgrade. Inspector Gadget 2, which was made in 2003, 4 years after its predecessor. Matthew Broderick, the old Inspector Gadget, was axed and replaced by French Stewart. Upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
Huge upgrade. French brought it.
Is that a good French Stewart face?
It's not bad.
Hey, I don't know.
Certainly the eyes have it.
Inspector Gadget, stupid fucking IP, top to bottom. I'm sorry.
I like the cartoon as a little child. Moving on.
This does not alter my opinion.
That's fine. Hotel Transylvania Transformania came out in 2022, 4 years since the last Hotel Transylvania happened. Adam Sandler said, "Not this time. I can't do this one."
Transylvania Transformania Megalopotrania.
And they got a guy named Brian Hull to do Adam Sandler's voice. Brian Hull.
Hey, this is my Adam Sandler.
Yeah, it was immediately good. It was good, and you didn't even say words yet.
I don't think it was that good.
It was.
A vampire?
Yeah, it's really
from
good.
Transylvania?
I think he's Dracula in it, so he would not be so surprised.
Oh, Dracula! That's all I got.
Now listen, Jay. I am so glad that you just did that because
I'm not.
No, you should be. It was really genuinely good. And what's even better is the guy who replaced Adam Sandler's name is Brian Hull. He broke into the voice acting circuit via YouTube. He just posted himself doing all the voices of people and saying, I can do all the voices, onto YouTube. Got very famous doing that on YouTube. Actually got the fucking job. Now you are on YouTube doing a great Adam Sandler impression now, too.
Wow, that's a whole new career for me.
Hey, producers of Hotel Transylvania, Transformania, Motel Hotel.
Welcome to Metaphiles, first of all. Thanks for watching.
If Brian Hull got a little too expensive, I'm betting we can do a for scale over here.
I'll do it for YouTube views.
Aladdin Return of Jafar, 1994, only 2 years after Aladdin. Robin Williams was replaced by Dan Castellaneta, Homer from The Simpsons. And like a third of the characters from The Simpsons.
Huh.
Pretty lateral. Then later they made a third one. Robin Williams came right on back.
Huh.
Dan Castellaneta had to slum it over by making The Simpsons for 40 years and being paid very well.
And then, as long as we're doing off-color jokes, and then Robin Williams went away. Dan Castellaneta said, "Now's my chance."
Yeah, Robin Williams went away. Oh, you can't handle it.
It was a hit by the Simpsons Mafia, by the Godfather Castellaneta.
Castellaneta. Queen of the Damned, 2002, made 8 years after Interview with the Vampire. They asked Tom Cruise, "You want to come back and play Lestat again?" He said no, give it to Stuart Townsend. He didn't say that, but that's who they gave it to. And Stuart Townsend is best known as playing Lestat in the film Queen of the Damned from 2002. They also replaced Antonio Banderas with a guy named Matthew Newton, who I'm guessing doesn't have quite the same swagger.
Yeah, you got Antonio Banderas, and then Matthew Newton.
And I didn't look him up.
Yeah,
but they
nobody
cut,
does.
like, almost all of those scenes out anyway. Sorry that the internet wants me to talk about this, but it does. The Avengers, made 2012, 4 years after Edward Norton got to be the Hulk one time and one time only. Nuh-uh, not anymore, pal. It's Mark Ruffalo now.
Eric Bana, I don't like him either. I like this. I like this type of research because I can just blurt my opinions about actors.
Yeah.
I like Eric Bana.
Great.
Because that's why people watch podcasts.
To know what people think of Eric Bana. Now, one more of these. Addams Family Reunion. Again, a trilogy that I thought was only 2 films. And there's a reason why. It happened 5 years after the other 2, which happened like months apart. Or very close, I think. Raul Julia had died. So Tim Curry plays Gomez now. YouTube, we do voices.
YouTube, we do.
Yeah, Tim Curry.
YouTube, we do voices.
I'm spooky. Angelica Houston doesn't want to fucking hang out with Tim Curry, so Daryl Hannah has to and be his wife on the show. Christopher Lloyd's fucking too busy being just great in everything, I'm sure. And Patrick Thomas has to be Uncle Fester.
We have to recast a whole fucking family. You have to get
Christina
the whole
Ricci,
family to come back for the sequel.
Well, it's the family reunion. Christina Ricci, too old.
Aged out.
Nicole Fugere. Nicole Fugere doesn't even have a blue link on Wikipedia.
Ugh.
I know.
It's almost like a type of street cred almost. Like I'm in the Addams Family, the third movie. I'm not on Wikipedia or IMDb, but I play a major role. Everybody's like, yeah, okay.
I'm not on Wikipedia. I just don't like being on it.
Yeah, and then they watch the movie and they're like, oh my god, that's far in there. I don't know.
It's very nice of you to think that it was her choice and that she likes it.
I was on Titanic. I was
Yes.
the boat helper. Uncredited.
Yeah. Didn't help much. Jerry Messing has to play Pugsley because, again, the guy who used to play him got too old. His name was Jimmy Workman. Jimmy Workman was Pugsley for 2.
A guy aged out of Hollywood? Rare.
But listen to this. Jimmy Workman retired from acting.
Huh.
Jimmy not Workman.
Yeah. Right.
But even though every single member of the family was replaced, Christopher Hart and Karel Strukien both returned to play Thing and Lurch. Thing being a hand.
Yeah.
They got the guy back. So that hand was very consistent looking through all three films. Then a bunch of people have played Pink Panther, Batman, and James Bond, of course. Who cares?
Yeah.
Let's talk now, Jay, about The Fall of a Nation.
Yeah, I think it's going pretty bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going pretty fucking bad. You know, we got the
fucking... over here. The Fall of a Nation is a 1916 American silent drama film directed by Thomas Dixon Jr. and a sequel to the 1915 film The Birth of a Nation, which was directed by D.W. Griffith. And...
Isn't it like a KKK movie?
Birth of a Nation was very controversial at the time of its release. I think it has to do with Nazis. Or world wars.
The afterbirth of a nation.
But the reason that we're discussing The Fall of a Nation is that although it is now lost, it was the first ever sequel film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Here's the plot. The Fall of a Nation is an attack on the pacifism of William Jennings Bryan and Henry Ford. I apologize. And a plea for American preparedness for war. America is unprepared for an attack by the European Confederated Army, a European army headed by Germany. This is 1916. The army invades America and executes children and war veterans. Charles Waldron, a millionaire collaborator, accepts the title as Prince of a Puppet Government. However, America is saved by pro-war Congressman John Vassar, who raises an army to defeat the invaders with the support of the suffragette Virginia Holland. Holland forms the Daughters of Jael, who seduce and then kill the soldiers of the occupation force, and eventually the insurgency gains the upper hand and drives out the Europeans.
Bad shit insane.
Sound watchable to you? You can't.
Yeah.
But,
any like any existential war on American soil from a foreign body is like interesting, but at the same time it's like totally impossible in the real world. So it's still kind of interesting, but
let's stick around and find out.
It'll be an episode on the ZAC'S.
This film had a musical score that was produced by a guy named Victor Herbert, and the Encyclopedia Britannica says that this is probably the first original symphonic score composed for a feature film.
Huh.
So it was first ever sequel, first ever original score.
I would watch it.
Can't. It's lost.
Just like on torrents or like everywhere?
It's lost to torrents.
Damn it.
Now, that was the first ever sequel. We now turn to the most current sequel, and we're going to compare and contrast.
Okay.
That existential examination of war and invasion and all these things. Here's the plot of the most recent sequel. We're skipping straight to the plot description, all right? Long ago, Primus created the first 13 Primes, an elite group of warriors, and became the planet Cybertron.
Is this Transformers?
Yes, wow.
Okay.
You do that so fast.
Those fucking words. Like, who else would he... A planet of Cybertrons, like...
I thought it would take at least another sentence.
The vernacular in that IP is just... It's yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to keep going. We're comparing and contrasting a film about the existential invasion of war. The Primes perished in a war with an alien species known as the Quintessons, resulting in the mystical artifact known as the Matrix of Leadership being lost.
The Matrix of Leadership.
It got lost, Jay. Without the Matrix, Cybertron's energon has dried up, forcing Cybertonians to mine for deposits deep beneath the surface to survive. Meanwhile, Sentinel Prime, the head of Cybertron and leader of Eacon, is continuing to fight the Quintessons and search for the Matrix, but to no avail.
I mean, it's fun if you just... Sorry. I get that it's like fun if you just take it at face value. It's like, it's just funny. It's funny, goofy words. put over,
Sure.
Let's
hear some more.
It's just so over the top. But go ahead. It kills
more.
me. It's so over the top.
In Iacon, Energon Minor or Orion Pax
It all sounds the same, too.
It does. Sneaks into an archive room to uncover any clues to the current whereabouts of the Matrix. He gets caught by security, and his best friend and miner, D16, saves him from capture. During a cave-in, fellow miner Jazz gets trapped under a rock, and they manage to rescue him, but their superior, Elita 1, is blamed for the incident and demoted to waste management.
It's so funny that there's security people in this universe.
It's a mining town.
Well, it's like every member of this race is called a Cybertron. It's like they're just walking guns or something, walking laser rifles, and then they have security. Like,
yeah.
You're not going to transform, I don't know.
The security guard transforms into a giant baton.
Yeah.
Falls on you. We're out of time, but let's get one more good paragraph.
Okay.
All right.
I think I can stomach it.
Sentinel Prime returns to Iacon, relaying that his current expedition has been fruitless, but instructs the bots to hold off of all mining work for the Iacon 5000 race. Waiting to prove themselves as more than miners, Orion and D16 secretly enter the race, but lose despite their efforts. However, Sentinel takes an interest and, instead of punishing them, has a security guard give them a new post at his residence. Whose security's the security guards? Unfortunately, the guard, Darkwing,
oh boy,
dislikes Orion and D16 and sends them to the smelting area. You don't want to go there.
Oh wow.
Where they meet B-127.
Whoa.
He's in it now. The three of them then discover a chip in the junk with a distress message from Alpha Trion, one of the primes.
This is just a string of transitions.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole point of the movie, is like, how do we make a cool transition into the next scene that's important?
Yeah. By the way, we're on this paragraph. All that. so many.
That's what I'm saying. It's like literally just the whole point of the script is for the screenplay to have the most movement as possible. That's the entire point of the script.
And boy, does it.
That's all there is.
Because the three of them discover a chip in the junk with a distress message from Alpha Trion, one of the primes, revealing coordinates to his location on the planet Serve.
We'll be right back.
This.
We'll be right back.
Oh, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. The three characters hitchhike on a train carrying crates to the surface, inadvertently bringing Alita along. No. They eventually discover a deactivated...
We'll be right back.
And a mass grave of primes inside a cavern.
I quit the podcast.
Okay. Just going to mark my place. I can't believe you don't want to know how it ends.
Believe it.
Okay. Why sequels? Why do sequels again? Why do a thing again?
Should we have done trilogies? Or quadrilogies?
No, because it's that we do the one again.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, for 52 episodes from now, we're going to talk about haircuts again. Probably.
We may have to spoil that just to keep it interesting.
Didn't I just?
No. I mean, spoil the idea of doing it. No.
But didn't I just? Didn't I just say, spoiler alert, we're going to do that?
Well, that's what I'm trying to spoil, is your spoiler alert. Is your spoiler that you alerted to spoiling, I want to spoil. That's what I'm saying. It's like a M. Night Shyamalan movie, but it's 2 hours, 45 minutes, and there's two different twists.
So you spoiler alerted the thing that I just had said? You spoiler alerted that I was gonna say it.
No, I spoiled the prediction that you made. Because if you're really, spoiler alert, it's still just a prediction until you see it. This is how you're gonna get spoiled. Everybody's gonna spoil you.
I feel spoiled being on this podcast with such a great co-host. I feel spoiled every episode.
That sounded sarcastic.
It wasn't. After reactivating him, Tryon reveals that Sentinel betrayed
God.
the Primes, allied with the Quintessence for power in return for Energon, and secretly removed the miners' transformation cogs to keep them powerless. Oh, do you want to... I'll leave us there for a moment. Do you want to make the new noise you found out that Rust Pole can make? And we'll get that clean and get that on there.
Okay.
New Rust Pole sound here on the 2nd year anniversary podcast calendar. Yeah.
Said that right there.
Get that right on there.
Yeah.
Oh no. You angered somebody.
That is gonna look so funny. It was just right in front of my face, and I slowly saw it and went, "Wah."
It was a true, scared reaction.
Terror. Sheer terror. Oh, that sounds good.
Sounds great. We gotta talk about why sequels. That's the format of the show.
And we can't talk about it the way we talked about it before.
No, we have to be really careful. Even us saying that sometimes a thing is good and so you want to do it again, we probably said.
Yeah, probably.
Let's talk about this. Sometimes the sequel is better. Sometimes. It's rare, but it has happened. And when we talked about sequels the first time, it was only the second time we'd ever done this damn show.
Mm-hmm.
And is the sequel to sequels better than the original?
I hope so.
Was our fresh, young, raw, hungry take on it?
Fresh, young, raw, hungry, horny take on it.
I was
probably
very
pretty good.
Horny those first few episodes.
I was mostly just unduly nervous.
Were you?
Not really.
You didn't seem like you were.
No.
Okay, great. I bet the sequel is better.
I mean, probably.
I think this part of it especially.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sequels can be better.
Yeah. Or at least as good. But hell, let's go ahead and talk about trilogies, Jay. Let's fucking do it.
Okay. I mean, we can do it. Yeah, we can talk about lesser known trilogies.
Sure, the Addams Family trilogy, as it turns out. The Mummy trilogy, as it turns out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Aladdin, I think, has 3 of them. Since Robin Williams left and came back. There's one where Aladdin meets his dad. I know that. Saw that in school. They showed it to us in school. So we'd learn something.
Yeah. Maybe English class?
I don't
know.
I have maybe told this on the podcast before, but I don't give a shit. One time in school, in my history class, to teach us about World War II and the horrors, it was an hour-long class. So they showed us the first hour of Schindler's List and said, we'll show you the second hour tomorrow. Go to your next class. Tomorrow came along, never came up again. Watched a bummer of an hour of a film.
And that was it.
And no resolution. Didn't get to the list at all.
That's all. Wow, that's... Just like, okay.
Yeah. You get it. They said.
Amazing.
Yeah. Rough. Still have never seen the end of it.
Fucking dramatized. You know, I can't. I'm having trouble thinking of a trilogy at all.
Okay. I'm gonna try and help you. 3. Now put a word in front of that.
Aliens. No, there's like 6. No, it has to be
It has to be only
just a trilogy. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Okay, and yes, Aliens is at this point a septuply, probably.
Septuple.
Okay, so Matrix is out because there's 4 of those now. Lord of the Rings is out because they count the 2 Hobbit movies. The Godfather Part 4.
That might be one, yeah.
Fredo's Revenge.
Isn't that 3?
I never saw 3.
Too many Italians in these movies, so I don't watch them.
Okay, so that's out. Yeah, it's tough because everybody doesn't want to stop at 3, and even a lot of people who smartly did stop at 3, or not smartly, now in recent years they're like, no, we got more.
What trilogy will remain untouched, unsullied,
What
unblemished?
is the purest trill? I mean, you would say The Godfather, but then, like, he did make 3 a long time after 2, so it's not impossible that he's coming out with 4 at some point. Not impossible. Wouldn't put it past him.
I would hate it.
Coppola. You wily guy.
Yeah.
So, jury's out on that. Until Francis Ford Coppola and Al Pacino are both dead, God rest their souls in that day. Until then, we can't guarantee that The Godfather is only a trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And the same is true.
So Pacino dies and Coppola is still alive, and we're like, one more, then we can rest easy.
He could do it.
No, I mean like there's one more left.
Oh,
that has to die before we can be sure it's not gonna be. So we'll be just like, we're halfway there. We're almost.
I'm starting to be able to unclench my fingers from the gripping of my seat.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just wanted to deliver a line of dialogue from old Elvis. Thank you very much. That's all. That's all you get. Buy a ticket. Cheapskate.
Let's have that right here.
Do you think I can do a better one now? Let me get into my Sam Elliott for a moment. Get myself used to it. Remember how it goes. That's closer, warmer, better. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Very, very good.
Thank you. And hey, YouTube. No, we can do voices. So yeah, we need a trilogy that the people who made the trilogy are dead and they can't make more. Does make it harder. There might not be any trilogies.
There's none anymore.
And all the ones that were are gone. Except for The Godfather, maybe.
Well, maybe
those guys are pretty old.
As the saying goes, maybe we're looking at the past with trilogy-colored glasses.
Yeah.
You know?
That's...
trilogy-tinted glasses. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe there never was too many trilogies if you really think about it.
Yeah, and you know, I think back on my childhood and just feeling like so rich in trilogies.
Mm-hmm.
Just feeling like the world was my oyster, trilogies wise.
You can throw a rock without hitting one. Yeah.
Oh, there's a third, The Lion King? Whoopee!
That's the trilogy. That's actually a real one.
No, I don't think they ever made a third one.
I think they did. Maybe they made a second one.
They made The Lion King.
It's in pre-production.
And they definitely made The Lion King 2. And then they did a thing that was like Lion King 1.5 or something, where it was all Timon and Pumbaa, which I never saw. I don't think I ever saw Lion King 2 either. And I don't think there was a third one.
So what's the villain of sequels?
Oh, you're done with the trilogy talk? Okay. All right. What's the villain of sequels? I'm going to say time. Because had I known there was a third Mummy movie,
Yeah.
I would have said...
Mummy movie?
I would have said, Mummy movie.
Okay.
Take me. Take me to Mummy movie, Mommy. But it happened in 2008, and I was 18.
Episode title.
And I didn't talk that way anymore.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
waited too long.
Okay, I guess so.
You are probably right that that's the title, by the way. Yeah, they fucking waited too long, man. I would have for sure been at that shit. Mummy fights Jet Li.
No.
Brendan Fraser's character was not Mummy, by the way. So, yeah, time.
Money.
Yeah.
Money.
Mommy movie money. I would also say
I was gonna start doing one of those myself, but I was like, no, I don't want to go down that road.
it's fine. It's a hard road to come back from. I'm finding once you start, it's hard to stop. I would just also will amend. I'm sticking. I think it's time and money, and I just want to say that time. It also you cannot wait long enough, and you haven't fully baked your idea. I think,
And as long as time keeps going, there's gonna be a fourth movie. It could be 50 fucking years from now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a fourth movie.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. Hey.
I think time and money team up on this one. I think the greatest villain in this one is a team up.
Wow.
Much like
a
the
evil
Sinister
duo.
Six fighting Spider-Man. Excelsior. Sorry.
I was just gonna say an evil duo.
Yeah.
That's all I really needed to say.
Okay. What's I don't think we were doing fates and twists and stuff. I was gonna say it's gonna be hard not to give this one the same fate, but
Nope, we weren't doing it yet.
Even though there's not even a glimmer in our eyes yet.
Twinkle in our balls.
Our glittery balls. I like enough sequels that I'm gonna say, yeah, it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too.
Maybe Jacuzzi.
I don't have anything wrong with them.
I mean, well, if we put sequels,
I want in Jacuzzi, some movies it would be so much better to them have not had.
Yeah.
Any preceding movies.
Okay, so sequels are in the Jacuzzi. Everybody knows what that means. And everybody agrees with us and is happy.
That's right.
Because I tell you what, Mummy 2.
What's the lesson? The sequels.
Think about it before you do it. That's my lesson.
I agree.
Great. Oh yeah.
I do think that's one you used up. I mean, you should save that for a really tough one. But you use that card. Think about it before you do it.
I'll just. You'll probably forget. And
Yeah.
me too.
And I'll be like, oh yeah, man,
You
it's
should've
probably
saved
happening
that.
right now. Like you already probably did it.
Maybe. I'm just so fucking psyched that I'm getting lessons through now, man. It feels great every time. And of course,
It's
we
true.
need a big ass twist. Let's see if we can borrow one. I'm gonna skip into the last paragraph. Bunch of other stuff and explosions happen. The Primes revive the dying Orion, receiving the Matrix of Leadership and becoming Optimus Prime. That's the twist. Orion was Optimus Prime the whole damn time.
So it's kind of like lore
Yes, this is a prequel.
that's specific to Optimus Prime, which makes more sense of his name because the nomenclature throughout the whole movie up to that point is in that same vibe. Optimus Prime, the other fucking guys that are named ridiculous names. Optimus Prime is like that type of name. I lost it.
Upon returning to stop Iacon's destruction,
I tried.
Optimus defeats Megatron in a fierce duel. Enraged that Optimus was given the Matrix, Megatron vows revenge after he and
The twist is that Zach wrote this. He didn't get it off the internet.
Please. If I had written this, there'd be way more.
Well, please
fucking-
stop.
We're so close to the end.
No, I don't believe you.
We are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 lines. Okay. Whew. Megatron vows revenge after he and the High Guard are exiled for their actions. Afterward, the Matrix restores the transformation cogs to the Cybertronians. Energon flows again, and Optimus christens his followers as Autobots before sending a message to the Quintessons to stay away. Stay away, Quintessons. Meanwhile, Megatron renames the High Guard into the Decepticons and declares war on Optimus's regime.
Wow. So what's the twist?
That it was Optimus Prime the whole time.
Okay.
And that we, this whole time, have been able to turn into cars.
Should we just do it? Okay.
I mean...
Nah. Well, they'll say it's like AI. They'll say it's fake or something.
People would say it's fake. Do we do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, you know me. Once I turn into a car, I want to drive, baby.
Once I turn into a car, I want to drive.
So if we're going to do it, I'm out.
Yep. I'm ready.
So let's go ahead and
ready.
say the sign off first.
This is the part of sign off that I say.
This is the part of the sign off that I say. And here we go. Hello there. It's almost the end of the show, but not quite. I'm Zach Caffrey,
I'm Jason Ford.
and you just watched the episode of Metaphiles that you watched, and now you're seeing this, and it's the part where we say, it's like us, subscribe to us, comment about it,
Get on our shit.
get on it, build a little community with us. You're all a part of it. It's a nice little world we have here.
It's just a big ball of liking and subscribing and comments.
And it's wonderful to do. And you like doing it. You do.
You do.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
And this week, why not make a comment about bye.
Bye-bye.
Metaphiles.